improve student achievement and ensure everyone who graduates is college and/or career ready?
It starts with returning to math, science, history, and English. Old school. Returning to paper and pencil. And let me tell you, I've been in IT for over 32 years. I know technology. I've set up countless computer labs. I've set up GED labs. I've done all sorts of things. And so there's a place for technology, but that place is to be a supplement, not a replacement for pencil and paper. Our kids need to learn to spell. They need to learn how to do math solutions on paper without dependency on calculators or electronic devices. They need to learn how to think. If we rob them when we give them electronic devices to replace all of that. So with that, academic proficiency, we have to be real with where our students are at. Right now, they've been having inflated grades for years, way before the pandemic. I've done a grade audit on an undisclosed amount of students. They are fudging numbers in this county. They've been doing it for years, all right? That does not help the student. We absolutely have to get a grip on it. We have to come up with a plan, see where they're at to form a baseline, create an individualized plan to find out that learning gap so that we know how to bring them up to par. If we do that, then we can get them on track. It's going to take a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of teachers that are going to gripe about it. The teachers are going to say, oh, you know, there's extra work to be done and all of this stuff. It doesn't matter. We're a community together. We have to work together, bite the bullet, and bring our kids up to speed. Thank you.
If you don't mind,
Sure. What can be done to improve student achievement and ensure everyone who graduates is college and/or career ready?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off my answer to the first question and also Mr. Lombardo's question or answer. We need to basically strip down everything a teacher's being told they have to do every day and get them back to teaching their content, the reading, the writing, the math, the science, and also a healthy dose of the arts. There are some kids that only go to school because there's an art class, because there's industrial arts, because there's chorus or whatever. And so we need to also, don't keep cutting that time. We need to continue that time. We need to supplement that time. Make that rewarding for kids. And also these poor teachers, I get it, you have to do Call of Duty. That was like the worst part of the day. I hated it, sorry. But parking lot duty, that's not necessary for a teacher. We can certainly find another way so that that teacher is in that classroom. We can also take away all that extraneous mess that teachers must do or being told they have to do. Again, get them back down to the basics of their content and allow them the academic freedom to teach their content in the way that reaches their students. Every student is an individual that learns in a unique and individual way. And the teachers can't apply a one-size-fits-all aspect to teaching their class. They need the freedom to teach this class this way, this class this way, and this class this other way. And make it exciting and let that teacher's light shine out so that their kids are excited and they want to walk into that class and they want to be with that teacher because they make that lab fun, or they make history fun because they really bring history alive to them, or whatever their content is. So those are the fundamentals. Get it back to the basics and get away from all the extra fat and get down to the lean meat.
Okay, there are a few things that I believe that would help student achievement in this county. Giving a safe learning environment so that they can pay attention. I know that's a problem in all of the classrooms and all the teachers that I've spoken to. K through 12 financial literacy and life skill classes. I would love for kids to be able to know how to save money and how to interview and write in cursive. And having some type of mentorship programs to put some of these kids that are really lost on the right path. Every child isn't going to go to college, so preparing students to go be career ready is also very important. Beefing up the CTE programs to expose kids earlier in school will help them find jobs they love and have them set up for success right out of school.
Each same question, what can be done to improve student achievement and ensure everyone who graduates is college and career ready?
Well, I think first of all, children need to know what's expected of them. It needs to be clear, consistent, and structured. so that their goals can be achieved. Probably the most important issue that I see is we have to address classroom behavior so that there are minimal distractions and the kids can learn. You know, teachers can teach, students can learn. In college and at work, bad behavior is not tolerated. That's just real life, it's not. We need to teach the children that there are consequences to their actions. Children need to learn this in the safe, controlled environment of the classroom with the teacher. I think we specifically need to address, again, the learning loss due to the pandemic to prepare them for college and for career. To do this, we need to go back to the basics: reading, writing, math, science, history. And I would love to see a few other things incorporated. Financial literacy, K through 12. Life skills, how to write a letter, how to write a resume, how to write a thank you note, how to address the envelope. We should have sections in classes where we teach these kids how to study, how to take a test. There is the science to taking a test. It can be done. And we need to teach the children these things. That's how I think we can help them. Thank you.
I think one of the first things you have to do is you have to have more face time between the teachers and the students. Have you ever noticed how many of these surveys that are given to kids throughout the school year, and how much time it takes to do these surveys? Oh, and by the way, you're not allowed to see the questions on these surveys. The answers all go to a federal agency, school agency, where they evaluate them and they make decisions about what's going on in their schools. What decisions they're making, I'm not sure. I haven't found that yet. In fact, you know, parents, we can really use your help in a number of these areas to get the numbers together, to find out a lot of this information. You think we get all the information on the board? Wrong area, and some people will find out how it really works in the future. Also, I know there's teachers in the crowd here. So let me ask you this. When you teachers were going through college to learn how to teach, did you get classes in parking lot attendants, school bus orderlies, hallway monitors, bathroom monitors, cafeteria supervisor? No. I think these might be classified under a contract as other duties as directed. So we need to get rid of that. Teachers need to be in the classroom. When we were in school, at the end of a class, it was not unusual to go to the teacher and say, "Miss Jones, could you give me just a minute to clarify this or show me how to do that?" And she would do it because she has time, she had the time. Now, they're everywhere. And there's a solution to this problem. And that'll come out later. The solutions, you have to think outside the box. A lot of people in administration don't like you thinking outside the box. It's different and it takes additional revenues. So, again, we need your help in these areas. Thank you.
Gee, I love bus duty. I used to volunteer for it because that's where I had a chance to really see and talk to my students outside of the classroom. Student achievement went down for a 2-year period. This had nothing to do with the quality of education our students were receiving. This had to do with a state mandate shutting down our schools. We now have to start back at the beginning and build up again. Again, a plan for student achievement is not the role of the school board. Dr. Stolfer and his executive team will present their plan to the board, and policy 4 of the blueprint spells out to us exactly how the student achievement is to be done. It is, let's see, to me, career paths begin in the middle school. It is here that guidance counselors should be meeting with students and their parents to plan a course of achievement, be it college with dual enrollment or AP courses, or the CTE program. My CTE teachers tell me that this is presently not being done in an aggressive manner. I'm also on the Curriculum Council. We have in Wycomico County Public Schools one of the finest, best phonics programs in the country. It is working. Give us time. This is only our second year with it. Our science teachers in the middle school are excited about a new science curriculum that is coming this September. And in grades 6 through 12, a new literature series is being started. I loved going through it. I spent hours upon hours going through all of this curriculum, and I enjoy being on the curriculum committee because this is what I did for the state of Delaware and for the Laurel School District. So I bring to them many years of expertise in curriculum building.
We already know that there's achievement gaps. There was achievement gaps before the pandemic and they only worsened. We know those gaps are primarily in English and math. So we need to make sure we have the right teachers teaching English and math. And I think we need to get creative and think outside the box, and by saying the teachers can't deliver the extra teaching we need to close those gaps. The blueprint's going to give us plenty of money to hire instructional assistants that could offer before-school tutoring for those that want it, after-school tutoring for those that want it, and we then also need to send a clear message to parents. You got to help them with their homework. You got to really be involved and know what they're doing. And we got to keep getting that word out, whether we put it on the website. It's got to come also from the teachers, creating a rapport with students and parents. I know when I was in school, my parents knew before I got home from school what my grades were and what areas of study I need to improve because there was that bond between parents and teachers. I don't know if that's been the school system's fault, parents' fault, society's fault with electronic devices, etc. But we need to get back to that where teachers and parents have good rapport with each other. We need to get back to strong PTA meetings. We need to get back to one-on-one teacher conferences. All that got lost in the pandemic, but there's no excuses if we don't do it now. So to improve achievement gap, we just got to get better at educating our students, and that's going to be roll up everyone's sleeves and dig in.
I hate to do this. Is it just easier, I guess, to move it down the line? Are you guys okay with that? Yeah, okay.
What happened if I said no? No. You're in charge. That's fine.
Also, I think there are cards on the table, so if you guys do have questions, please make sure you write them down. And if you just want to hold them up in the air, I'm going to volunteer James. He'll come around and collect them from you if you have them. All right, question number 3, Mr. Malone. How can the board be more accessible to the community, to specific community groups?
I think there's a couple ways we can do that. I think that I consider the superintendent as part of the board. That person's secretary of the board. We need to bring back the superintendent's open door nights. Once a month, the superintendent needs to go from 6 to 8, and any citizen and parent can show up there and bring an issue to the superintendent and have a one-on-one conversation. I think we can go one step further. The board meets monthly. We have public comment, but that's not an interactive discourse. Maybe we need to do once a month or quarterly a board open night. I was going to say open mic night, but that sounds like karaoke. But maybe we need to have that availability at Y-High or Bennett where it is an open discourse. It's an open meeting. You can come in and ask any question. We'll answer whatever we can. If there's legalities, we'll have to say no. But that's the only way we're going to improve the school system is with open communications. I think the community thinks that the 7 board members have a wall built between us and them. It's really not. But we need to show that by going back to some really basic systems where you just interact with folks. The last thing we can do is sort of not with the board. We need to bring back American Education Week. We ditched that during the pandemic and even before, and I know a lot of teachers applauded that. But that's a time where parents would come to school because your student would say, "Are you coming to school to see me, Dad? Come to English class." We need to bring back that. We need to get that relationship with the community and the students and the parents and everybody all on one page once again. Thank you.
I didn't know we were not accessible. I'm stopped at church, grocery store, my phone rings, I get emails. So I need to be specific. Where have we been invited that we didn't show up, and what community groups have we not responded to? I attend at least 6, sometimes as many as 12 functions a month. I answer and return fed meals. Now, we are not allowed in the schools by the present school superintendent. And from my question that I asked Dr. Stauffer in the interview, this is not going to change. So those of you who want to be on the school board think you're going to be prancing around the schools, no, you aren't. Now I want to address school safety. We have SROs in the middle schools and in the high schools. They are told specifically what they can do and what they cannot do. And as of tomorrow, July the 1st, according to the SROs that I talked to, their duties are being reduced by the state legislature. One SRO told me that the state's not going to be happy until they sit in their car in the driveway and are only called in the schools when they are needed. We now have in all Wycomico County public schools secure vestibules, and we have cameras in all of our schools. I do agree, and Jean, I think I'm going to make a note to Dr. Stauffer on this, that we do bring back the open door policy and have American Education Week. This is something we can recommend to him.
Community and to specific community groups.
Before I get to that, I'd just like to remember or remind people that in order to change policy, like board members not being in schools or doing this, that, or the other, you have to have 4 like-minded people on the board to change policy. Please remember that when you're picking candidates. As far as accessibility, all my information is on the website. You'd be surprised at some of the people I meet with outside the school. I meet with parents, I meet with teachers, I meet with school bus drivers, anybody who wants to meet with them. All they have to do, call 410-896-3670. The number's been like that, I think, for about 100 years or so. But it never changes. I don't have an answer machine in there, so just keep trying calling back. I think that's all I'll say on that. You want to talk, just call me. I go to Chili's, Tall Tales, Panera Bread, Dunkin' Donuts, you name it, I'll meet you there. So just call me.
Well, I think it's important to realize that what the school board is. And the school board actually represents the community's voice in public education. So let me repeat that. The school board is an elected position that represents the community's voice in public education. So I think we have to constantly look at how that can be improved. We need to have actions and policies that provide clear communications between the school board, the parents, and the teachers. To our community of teachers and parents, we should welcome informal meetings to grow communication, establish relationships, and trust between them and the board, beyond monthly meetings. Board members should attend community events, and I know that they do. And I think our schools should host community events, musicals, dances, carnivals. Perfect example is Rock and Roll Revival. The influence of that goes well beyond Wycomico County. It's a perfect example. And I think we need to welcome the community into the classroom. You know, with organizations like Junior Achievement and programs like Parent Career Day or American Education Week, like they mentioned.
I would say giving notice of some of the events. I know a lot of things I've seen online posted the day of or while it's happening, which is too late for those of us that are parents that are cooking dinner. All PTAs should be reinstated for the schools. I know I tried to join PTA at my son and daughter's school when I first started to go there, and they don't have a PTA. And having different locations in town would give different communities an opportunity to be part of the school events. Giving parents more info about groups or programs that exist that could help their child do better in school. I found out about one this year that I'd never heard of, and my son's 12. So if there was a way to get that information information out and would be helpful for the parents. Thanks.
Well, I believe we should move back to the idea of having the board ed meetings at night. It makes zero sense to have a Board of Education meeting in the middle of the day when parents, who are by and large the biggest stakeholders in the Board of Ed, usually can't make it. That is ridiculousness. So bringing those meetings back at night would definitely be a huge plus. Also, hosting the open mic nights to the Board of Ed, where citizens can come out and we can have this back and forth conversation where citizens can ask questions about what's going on in the schools. Also, having events similar to this, where citizens can ask us questions in a low-key atmosphere, where there's we can all get together and have productive conversations. Also, getting together with groups like the NAACP, which I had a wonderful time with them during the forum a couple of weeks ago, and they would love to have more interactions with the Board of Education and other groups. So I think that there's an open door there for us to interact with that community as well. So again, it's just about looking at these groups and saying, these are underserved communities. These are communities that we need to reach out to let them know what's going on, because they may not have the ability to attend meetings because of daytime meetings or work or whatever. And also posting more proactively about meetings and things like that, as Ms. Hazel said.
How can the board be more accessible to the community, to specific community groups?
The board can make itself available through an avenue of things. One thing is we need to start as a Board of Education to not have systematic obstruction in the school system. And what do I mean by that? I mean strategically putting obstacles in place so parents cannot participate in the education of their children, not having a voice, locking them out of public meetings, obstructing them, limiting numbers who could come into an open meeting. That stuff's going to end. And I'm going to tell you, we need to post curriculum on the website. Parents need to see full transparency of what is being taught to their children. We need to have more parent involvement. And I'm going to tell you, parent involvement will improve and increase when we have a strong board that listens to them, and they're just so beat down. They're tired of this mess. And so if we remove those obstacles and we listen and we include them, there's hope. They're going to have hope and they're going to be excited. Monthly meetings at night. Having monthly meetings at night when parents are not working. And that is going to increase participation. Yeah, some parents work at night, but the majority of parents work during the day and they will be there at night. What's important is a board member that goes around to the towns within the county to hear what the local town councils and commissions have to say, so that they're involved, because they're closest to their constituents. They know and they can relay that, and that communication is absolutely key. Our rural areas throughout the community, all of like Sharptown and the west side, we have all these areas in the community that are left out there. It's those people out there. All right, I'm going to tell you, this is the season of the underdog. The underdog has been kicked to the curb, and we need to serve them. They are our clients, and we need to reach out to them, and we need to serve them. They need to be included. We need to outreach. It is their day. We, the people, we represent them and not the House.